Good morning and welcome to our reflection for March the 3rd, the first Friday of Lent. I did try earlier on, but obviously the video didn't record for whatever reason, but let's try again. Our reading is taken from our local weekly newspaper, the Westmoreland Gazette, and it's a Christian viewpoint from the local Catholic priest at Holy Trinity and St. George Catholic Church. And it does make some good reading, so I'd like to share it with you as a different reflection for today. But forgive me for reading it from the paper. Who do you think you are? On the TV takes a celebrity back through the generations as they delve back into their past. Lent is a time when we ask ourselves the very same question. Only the difference is that we do not delve into the lives of others, but into our own life. It might take a good deal of courage to examine our ancestors at times, but if it takes a lot more to look at ourselves, and it does take a lot more courage, trust me. The contemplative monk Thomas Merton spoke of false selves and true selves. The false self is the one we can create because that is the person we think the world wants to see. We can put a great deal of effort into maintaining that facade, possibly believing it is our true self. The readings in church for Lent begins with Jesus being tempted in the wilderness by none other than Satan himself, and he did give a good punch. He used every possible trick in the book to have Jesus succumb to his wily ways. But did he succumb? No, he didn't. He persevered. His tempter offers Jesus a set of roles that he could easily step into, but would contradict who he is called to be. The tempter often offers masks that would be pleasing to the world, but which would distort both him and his calling, and blind him to his relationship with his beloved Father, Mother God. So how do we begin? Perhaps simply in the tradition of St. Ignatius, just reviewing our days each night, not in a way that makes us feel worse about ourselves, but looks at how we have been with people, how we have done or not done the things that faced us, not saying I have failed at this or that, but looking at how I felt in each situation and asking God to teach us through our experience. Where and with who was I really myself? Where had I put on a mask? And as one who was a nurse for over 38 years, many of my nurse colleagues, myself included, we were born rescuers. We rescued every Tom, Dick and Nelly, every lame duck, rather than face ourselves. And I can say that from a good place because I was a rescuer. I never liked me, and I think it was because of what happened to me in childhood. From a very abusive father. To the world, he was the Earl Flynn lookalike, the voice of Mario Lanza. Women fell at his feet. He was a womanizer. I loved my dad, but he was immature. He was spoiled rotten by his mother. University, the best clothes, and as a butcher, he'd wear his best clothes to the abattoir, which I witnessed myself. And he had no concept of being what a father's about. He was a good time Charlie, as was my mum. Neither of them were cut out for rearing 9 children, hence leaving the role to me, aged 11, when I had to leave school, to look after all of them. But Dad, I suppose, tried in his own way, but he had an ego, a huge ego. And I prayed that I would never have such an ego. I did. But I had a deep inner longing to be me, but I was afraid to be me. I never felt good enough. I was never told I was a good son by either parent. And when I entered the monastery, you're just put down. You become a number. You're stripped of your true identity. And you end up being afraid of yourself and God. And I had lots of issues with God the Father because I portrayed my own rational thinking of how my dad was with me to how God the Father would be with me. And it's taken 50 years of my life to come to a place where I can say, I love my Father, Mother, God. And I do love my dad, and I pray for his soul because he was immature, grossly immature, but lovable, but also violent. And being the eldest son, I guess I took the blame to protect my brothers and sisters from violence of a sexual nature and sheer physical force, but I still love him and I forgive him. And I've learned a lot from that, but I had to be broken in my mind, in my ego. Oh yes, and learn to love that little boy called Sean and tell Sean it wasn't your fault. It was theirs. And to hand that inner child over to God and say, look, this little boy is very naughty at times with tantrums and sulking and being spoiled. Help me to heal it and release it. And today I don't wear any masks. I wore too many as a nurse manager. Play acting a role. When the uniform went on, you changed. Once you took it off, you went back to your old miserable sourpuss self. Lent isn't about looking sad and sorrowful. I used to give up this, that and the other and hoard all our chocolates in little shoe boxes at the top of my mother's wardrobe. And all 9 of us, because there were 9 brothers and sisters. And some would steal from your box if you collected more because they were gutsy and always wanting to eat other people's in Lent. We did have a day of reprise, a day of freedom on St. Patrick's Day. But you know, looking back, I was so immature. But today, Lent isn't about giving anything up. It's about coming out of your comfort zone, facing who you are through the eyes of God, and trying to see what God sees in you, and to have the courage to look in the mirror and not start running yourself into the gutter saying, oh, my eye bags need doing, or my double chin needs tucking, or I need to have a new hairstyle or whatever. That's all vague ego. But you know, if you can look in the mirror and say, I am a beloved child of God, do it. I am whole, perfect, and complete. I guess so many people who aren't happy how they look or feel is because they too are running away. They're wanting to project the person and the personality that society demands of them. I don't give tuppence what people think of me now. That might be a bad thing in your eyes, but for me it's a good thing because I'm not rescuing. I'm not rescuing. I'm learning to live the life that God wants of me and to be happy in it and to put myself out for others, not to rescue, but to put myself out to try and like those that I don't like, or to smile when I don't feel like smiling at some stranger in the supermarket. There you have it. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. And remember, you are a beautiful child of God. Keep saying it. Let that be your mantra for Lent. God bless you.